Welcome back, everybody. So, as you can see, I've got a couple of cars in front of me, and I'm quite excited. We shortly will be going over to Qasr Al Sarab. It's a desert resort, about 3 hours away from Abu Dhabi city. It's a really beautiful place. It has an awesome dunes, and there are plenty of things to do. They have a lot of activities and everything, but we also have a lot of things booked. But the two things I'm looking forward to probably the most is, first of all, is getting those two trucks in front of you out into the desert and getting them through their paces on the dunes and see how they perform and having some fun with it. And also, I'm looking really forward to, we'll be doing the self-drive experience. So basically we'll be taking our own four-wheel drive into the desert and doing a bit of dune bashing through the desert in our own car. So that's gonna be a lot of fun as well. And if you do ever get out there, there's plenty of things to do. There's sandboarding, camel rides, horse ride, archery, etc. It's a really amazing place. Been there before, and I'm sure we'll go there again. But this time I'm really looking forward to two things: is racing these cars through the dunes and driving our four-wheel drive through the dunes as well. So one thing before we get there and we talk about, I do want to say to my Middle Eastern audiences, right? If you are interested in RC cars and you are interested in racing them or playing with them in the desert, in the sand, it's a lot of fun, especially if you have kids. I'll be driving this one, my son will be driving this thing. It's a family fun, and they perform quite well. This one goes about 50 kilometers an hour, this one goes about 40 kilometers an hour, so it should be fun. But when you are looking to get into it, or you're about to get into it, I want to point out a couple of things that I've learned from experience when selecting the cars. Is something to look after for, right? And because the sand in the desert is so fine, it gets into a lot of spaces, right? So there's certain care you need to do and perform on the cars to make sure they run for longer. One thing before you buy, always make sure, and I've learned it the hard way, is that the body of the car itself is fully covered, right? So you'll see sometimes the cars don't have the top cover here, right? So in my case, on both cars, I have the coverage, so that covers the the moving parts, the engine and whatnot, and this covers there's a battery here, there's two engines here, and it does actually says the cars itself, because I had first couple of cars which I bought, they didn't have the top cover. You could see the battery was saying here, and you could see the engine on top and all the moving gears across, right? And literally the first time into the desert, the sand got all into it, and that was the end of the car, right? So that's one thing to look after, right? And the second thing is, when you do run it through the sand, right, you'll have fine sand particles like on all the moving chassis here, right? So what you need to do is get one of those air sprays, compressed air bottles, and just spray the sand off. That's about as much care as you need to do to to keep those cars running. And obviously also don't go for the cheap ones, that they have no chance of getting up the dunes. Get a decent one, the decent one. So this one is about $100. This one is about I think about $80. So in dirhams, that's about 360, and that's about 280 or so, right? I bought both of them through Amazon US. I couldn't find the similar ones in UAE, and I'll post the links down in the description. But these two did perform well before in the desert and in the sand, and now we'll get them onto the big dunes and see how they do as well. So that's about it. We'll not wait any longer. Let's get to the desert resort. Let's unpack and let's see how they perform.